This conference will now be recorded.
All right, so this time we're going to focus on residents and units. This will cover a lot of the easier tasks in residents and units and hopefully be able to address some of the calls that Tier 1's answering, but we'll also give the manager a few more tools, hopefully, to answer questions. So basically our landing page here, you can click on one of your properties to go into well, it defaults to your residents and units. If you were somewhere else, you could go to resident management and then residents and units. So just looking at the first screen here, there is a color coding going on here. If you go to the very bottom of the screen, it'll tell you what the colors mean, the red, the black, and the green. So the green are the people who've registered and they're hopefully using the system. But basically right now, the easiest thing to show you how to do is if someone calls and wants to have you send them another registration link, you just click on that guy right there. That'll generate an email. If you're in here and you want to email somebody, you can just click on here and that'll pull up a window to send them an email. If you wanted to add a note for this particular resident, you just click on notes, and the notes work just like they do in work requests and violations. You pretty much type in your note here, and then it'll create a history with all the notes in sequential order. I think that's it for this screen. Don't need to go into any of that, but we do want to take a look at maybe some questions the resident might have from their side, from their view. We have somebody that's green here, so we can go in and see basically what they see. We can click on View Resident Portal right here. And then now we're going to log in basically just like they would if they went to the website and put in their ID and password. So this is what they'll see. This is for a resident only. If there was a board member, you would see a board tab here. If they had more than one unit, you would see another unit up here. You'd see multiple. You could switch back and forth. They could switch back and forth between their units. But basically, a lot of the questions we get are, how do I make my payment? And it's basically right here in this My Profile. They can see their balance right here, but they can launch the whole thing, or they can just click on Make a Payment. Either way, I'm going to say Launch Profile. Whoops. Maybe not. So this is their profile. So this is not where they can make a payment. So maybe that's the problem. So they need to click on Make Payment, and then they'll have the option of an e-check or a credit card. So I'm actually glad I did that. So once I've clicked on e-check, I'm going to the bank. One of the things that we get asked frequently is, how do I set up reoccurring? This right here is the one-time payment option, but they can go to the bank and they can register to create reoccurring payments. They can also do a one-time payment, and I believe they can do reoccurring credit cards as well, but they have to go in, put in a bunch of information here, and then continue through the screens. So I'm not going to go down that path. But the beauty of this system is there is just a ton of great features for the resident that they didn't have before, such as email, and it's much easier to do a work request now. They can connect with their neighbors, and none of this stuff is that challenging to figure out. It's really just a matter of them clicking on this and seeing what's there. I think the harder task is for the manager to get his or her properties filled out with all this information, and we have one person working on that. But and I know that since we've started My Green Condo, there's been kind of an initial wave of inquiries. So the sooner we get all the information in here, the sooner it will be much easier for you to manage your workload. So here's a survey screen. Currently don't have one active for this property. Discussion forums, event calendars, broadcasts. I can see all the broadcasts we've done. Library is where they see their documents. The association has, the staff has information about who the manager is and maybe their admin assistant. These are the violation history in this case for this property. And then the, looks like a pending architectural application. And then my community album, if that's being used. So now I can go back to where I came from and back here on my main screen, my resident and units. Another question that comes up is people want to add co-residents. They can do this themselves. Click on a new co-resident, change that to co-owner, or you can do it for them. So you go and type the information in here, you type in their email address, and then the system will, for the co-resident, it will have a tab after you've created the co-resident, so you can send them a link to register. If you update an existing mailing address, the system will automatically send a new registration link. And then the resident can control their email preferences and what they get notifications for. They have complete control over that. And the other thing you may be asked to do is to consolidate access. So if this owner has 2 or 3 properties, it's unnecessary and annoying for them to receive 3 or 4 emails if they've already registered for one of their units. So what you can do here is click on Consolidate Access and pull up the address of the unit you want to add to this unit. So that way they won't get the additional emails, and they'll be able to go into this resident portal, and then they'll have the option of toggling back and forth between their units. All right, so I think that's a good introduction to resident and units, and we'll be back with the next one soon.